What's up everybody, Nolan Staff, Moby Fitness, and today in this video we are going to go over the 5 best kettlebell exercises for people over 60. So this video comes at the request of Captain No Plan 9236. He asked in a comment in one of my previous videos what were some good exercises for older people to do. I love the interaction. If you want another video on another topic, let me know. Let me know what you like about this video, maybe what I could add to it. And for everyone else to do the same thing. Any requests, let's hear them. Just let me know what you guys think and what you guys want to see. So starting off our list of the 5 best kettlebell exercises for people over 60, number 1, we have the kettlebell deadlift. Now, the kettlebell deadlift is a staple in not just kettlebell training, but any sort of fitness training in general. The hip hinge motion of the movement, bending over, picking something off the ground, is very foundational and a very functional way of movement that we as humans do every single day of our lives, and it is important to keep that movement pattern nice and primed and fluid and strong and ready to go, especially as we head into older age. I mean, think about it. I don't think anybody wants to lose the ability to bend over at the hip and pick something up off the ground, whether that is a kettlebell or your car keys. So like I kind of mentioned before, the kettlebell deadlift is a hip hinge movement. This means we are bending at the hip. It's not a squat, so we're not squatting down in that position, but it's more a bent over position. So one of my favorite cues for the kettlebell deadlift is to pretend that there's a wall behind you and that you want to tap your glutes, your hips against that wall, a wall just a few inches. So you're bending over at the hip and you're moving your hips, your glutes, your butt back a little. You're shifting it back and you're bending over, tapping that imaginary wall behind you with your hips. There are definitely a lot of different variations that you can do of the kettlebell deadlift or deadlift in general. Here in this video, I'm covering a two-handed kettlebell deadlift that is, very common you can do. If you have just one kettlebell, you can do a single kettlebell deadlift. Also, if you're having trouble with a close stance kettlebell deadlift position, you can try a regression movement called the sumo deadlift. So in this position, you are spreading your legs about shoulder width, maybe a little wider than that, with your feet angled about 45 degrees, and you are bending over at the hip. You're also going to get a little more bend in those knees. So it's not really a squat. It's still more of a hip hinge deadlift movement, but you are bending at the knees, and it is kind of like a squat, but not really. You're still using your hamstrings, your glutes, your back, and you're still primarily doing that hip hinge movement. You just have your feet a little wider, a little sturdier base. Exercise number 2 on our list is the goblet squat. Now, the goblet squat is another one of those really foundational movements when it comes to kettlebell training. So with the kettlebell goblet squat, there are definitely a few variations that we can do. If you have one kettlebell, you can hold it by the handles or horns right in front of your chest there, keeping your chest high and sinking down into that squat position. You don't need to go heavy here. I'm going a bit heavy in the video, but that's just me. That's how I'm training. This was an actual workout that I was conducting. Go to your comfort level, especially people over 60. You don't need to push it too hard. Nobody's trying to set PRs. I know I won't be when I'm that old. Use what's comfortable, but still pushing yourself, and really control and own the movement. Another variation you can do if you have 2 kettlebells is to get them into the front rack position and do a goblet squat there. If you're having trouble squatting down to full range of motion, full depth, an option that you can do is use a chair or a bench and put that behind you. So when you squat down, into that squat position, you go about halfway, but you are more or less tapping or sitting briefly on that chair or bench to give you that extra safety net, that extra, assistance if you need it. Exercise number 3 on our list is the kettlebell halo. Now with this movement, we are taking a kettlebell up to eye level and we are rotating it in orbit around our head. This is really going to exercise our shoulders, our upper back, stabilize everything up top there. It's a really good movement to increase your shoulder, not only strength, but mobility overhead, because with the help of the kettlebell, especially when you get behind your head towards, around the back side, it's putting a real good stretch on your shoulders, on your lats, on your chest, really opening up your body up top for good mobility. Something that you want to keep in mind when you do the kettlebell halo is keep the kettlebell about even with your head all the way around. See, when you go behind your head, you don't want the kettlebell up like on top of your head. You want to try to get it, behind your head, behind your body, and orbit rotating, right nice parallel here with your dome piece. Exercise number 4 on our list is the farmer's carry. Now, this exercise, I believe, is a very, very solid exercise for anybody to do, but especially people over 60 to do. It allows you to pick up, a little bit more weight than maybe you could in these other exercises. And it really, really trains your core, your stabilizers throughout the entire body, moving with load. There are definitely a lot of different variations that you can do with the farmer's carry. Your basic is, 1 or 2 kettlebells at your side, at the side of your hip, carrying them. Another that you can do is, a kettlebell at your side with one in the front rack position. You can also have a kettlebell at your side and one in the overhead position if you're feeling spicy. A few key points when you do farmer's carries. Make sure to keep your chest high, core engaged. We don't want to be slouching over when we walk with these kettlebells. We want a high, tall chest here, strong core, shoulders back and down. And finally, exercise number 5 on our list of the best kettlebell exercises for people over 60 to do is, drum roll please, the kettlebell swing. If you are training with a kettlebell, the kettlebell swing needs to be the bread and butter of movement. Like, that's the one you need to be doing the most if you're training with kettlebells. Now, why? For even people over 60, a lot of people might be like, well, that just seems unsafe for an older individual to do, to bend over at the hip and then forcefully, sling weight upwards. On the contrary, it's actually a very safe exercise. It may seem like that there's a lot of torque and there's a lot of room for injury to happen, but if you're using a more moderate, and I would even suggest, especially for older individuals, maybe a slightly lighter weight is okay, but it's a very safe exercise to do. 1, you can just drop the weight. 2, that bent over motion with the momentum of the bell traveling between your legs and up, it's just a real natural kind of movement. It's real safe. You're in tight. You're not anywhere out here. You have a good strong base in here. 2 hands on the bell. It's a very safe movement. It's not a dangerous movement to do. It's not something people should shy away from. And actually, it is especially good for older individuals who lose a lot of mobility and range of motion, not to mention strength too, and power, all of it. But with the kettlebell swing, it's really going to unlock your hips and your hamstrings, that whole midsection of your body, your core. It's just a fantastic movement. And if you do have to use lighter weight, that's okay. If you can't get a full, bent over hip hinge with the swing, that's okay. At 60, hey man, like, everybody's gonna cut you a break. Like, you're exercising, great. That's awesome. You're ahead of a lot of other people. But don't compare yourself to other people. Yeah, man, kettlebell swing. Now, as a bonus for this video, kettlebell and the type that you could be using, or the one that I would suggest if you're getting into kettlebell training and you're an older individual, or even if you're a younger individual and you're just getting into kettlebell training, a really good option is to have one of these adjustable kettlebells. Now, they are a bit pricey, but if you don't need a super heavy weight and you're not interested in buying multiple sets of kettlebells, this is a good option because it is adjustable. You can adjust the weight as needed, and it really allows you to find the appropriate weight too for exercises like the ones that were discussed in this video, especially for the older population where lifting heavy kettlebells is, you know, more than likely not going to occur. You're going to be using more lighter kettlebells, and that is perfectly okay, and that is awesome anyways. But this really allows for those adjustments of lighter weight to really hone in and find the one that works for you. So there you have it, the 5 best kettlebell exercises for people over 60 to do. If you liked the video, go ahead and like it. If you want to see more kettlebell content, go ahead and subscribe. Let me know what you thought about the video, maybe what you want to see in the future, what you liked in the comments below. If you are a beginner and want to pick up my free beginner's guide to kettlebell training, go ahead and click the link in the description below. But yeah, until next time, peace.